Hey guys, everybody, welcome to Boston Good Sessions. We are a Boston-based sportscast, uh, brought to you by SSBN, Small Stake Big Network. Um, I'm basically starting off the show giving respect, admiration, and everything to one of the greats here in Boston, Lyndon Byers. Uh, Lyndon passed away a couple days ago. Um, I want to tell you guys some stuff. He was basically your run-of-the-mill perfect guy to like have in the locker room. He was a bright shining light. He was everything and a half that you'd want out of a teammate. If you want to know, ask Cam Neely. He was a teammate of his for like many years. Um, Lyndon Byers also helped establish what would be known as a pure enforcer or goon in many ways. Lyndon Byers also was probably one of the best people you could actually have around you. Why do I say that? Because, well, a lot of people can actually state and back up that Lyndon Byers was your run of the mill perfect candidate for basically anything you needed. He joked around. He brought a nice, heartwarming gesture to like things around him. It wasn't just the hockey player, so to speak, of Lyndon Byers. It was the humanitarian and the person himself, that basically made you kind of want to look at the person as he is. Um, he played for the Boston Bruins. He played for the San Jose Sharks. He also, after doing his stint in San Jose, he did retire. Um, and then came out back out here in Boston, made basically an everyday name for himself because, well, some guys do that when they leave, you know, when they leave the city, they come back. They love it here. They love to make a life, do everything. And one of the cool things about LB was he joined AAF, which was a radio station here, and he became a personality. He was on the Greg Hill show. He basically made a lot of people happy. He was joyous. He was very serious. Um, but the one thing, even like reading Barstool Sports, a city's heart is broken. Like there was something that Lyndon Byers basically did that, for an account, he may not have been like one of the focuses of, yo, he's not he's not a Ray Bork. He's not a Cam Neely. He's not a Joe Thornton when he was here. Like he's not one of those guys that carry a lot of weight to his name if you mention him all over the place. Um, but here in Boston, he was that guy. He was everything that you wanted and more. Um, and the Boston Bruins did put out a statement. The Boston Bruins are deeply saddened by the passing of Lyndon Byers. Lyndon was a fan favorite across his 9 seasons in the black and gold, thanks to his rugged, rough and tumble style, and was a key cog on the Bees team that made trips to the Stanley Cup final in 88 and 90. Following his playing career, Lyndon spent some 25 years as a local radio personality, entertaining scores of New Englanders every day with his quick wit and boisterous voice. A son of Nipawin, Saskatchewan, Lyndon became a true Bostonian, and we will miss him dearly. He is forever a part of our Bruins family. If you've never heard Lyndon Byers, he was a jokester. He was a prankster. He was everything that you wanted and more. But he brought a lot more to the table just as a human being. He was colorful. He was boisterous. He basically had a lot to him. Um, I mean, let's put it this way. I hated, you know, the Hillman show. But when you would hear Lyndon Byers, especially for me being a Bruins fan, I got the chance to meet Lyndon Byers during his playing days when I was a kid. He was just that guy, give you a high five. He was warm, he was inviting, he was basically the type of person you want to greet when you're greeting players you adore. And be that as it may, I don't know if anybody's noticed this. I do talk a lot of hockey for a reason, but that's me. That's a lot of stuff that, like, I can state in anything I do. But just even hearing about someone that passes away and, like, certain things like that, it's hard, it's tough. It's really something that, like, really hits to home. And I mean, a lot of people will say 61 is still young. I want to see if I can actually pull up that clip. There's a lot of them that basically people left. Um, and of course, anytime like I go to do anything, like it's gotta tell me no. That's awkward.
Hey, what do you call me, a goon? What do you think, I'm a goon? Well, it's because I got 830 minutes of penalties and 200 games. What does that consider? I mean, what do I get? I get 29 goals. Do I get 2 goals this year? Don't pressure me.
First off, the mullet was glorious. Um, Back then, you don't like say anything about it, but secondly, the man's fighting a buffalo saber, gorgeous. And what does he say? What are you calling me, a goon? there's, there's reasons for it, and a lot of this can be summed up. Best NHL fights. I don't know if he's on here. Oh wait, that's him. You look Quebec T jersey. This is when you just throw it out. This is when hockey was hockey. Like, let me tell you something. If you're listening to this on Spotify, do yourself a favor. Switch over to YouTube and watch some of this stuff because some of it was just dire classic. I thought Neely was like great. No, Byers was just out there to fight. That was it. He could score goals. It was great, but like the man just like punched people. It was wonderful. Pretty sure that Derek Stanley called that game too. Hockey was hockey. Sit there and fight anybody. Who cared? Use the chokehold. Also, the referees wouldn't even get involved in it. It'd just be like, okay, let him go. Fight, Bruin, fight. These are great moments.
That's a good one. Both guys are very strong. They stand back control.
Not the same anymore. I'll tell you what. One of the things that like could like enlighten me to like say anything is there's so many people that their first notification is, oh, fight. Ooh. Hey, dude, just sometimes a fight was a fight. Also, if you look at guys now, they're chiseled. They're like, ooh, upper body. Look at me, rip. You look at guys in the 70s, 80s, 90s, they had bare bellies. They didn't care. These are guys that like would go drinking after the game and then be like, okay, let's go. More hockey. I'm not going to show this over. Oh my God. There you go. Dude. Up, fork trip somebody.
Well, there goes so much for the Buffalo Sabres' ability to fight. Now there's a fight going here. And it's Lyndon Myers and Chikrin. Hank Linden wanted a little better piece of him from last time. Chikrin's got a tremendous reach. You can see it. He's throwing a lot of punches. That would hurt him. But he's a big man. Lyndon Myers, I wouldn't, tough kid. Good fight. Not much else you can do when you're frustrated.
Tough kid, good fight.
Beat him up, I guess.
Oh, this is from the Quebec network. Speaking of French. Even no Deeks were around. Coca-Cola had the same logo. He's like swinging upward. What the heck? Up, your tape is broken, buddy.
That Van Dorp does not like going down on it. Wants to play hockey anyway. It's okay now. There goes misses a bang. It just Myers wants to play hockey anyway. It's okay now. There goes just misses a bang. There's the right that misses a fleeting thing.
Thank you, Professor. Podmosky on the faceoff with Doug Smith. And there is Steve Smith on defense. And here goes Myers and Cochran.
Myers and Cochran was going to start out at the bench. Cochran has tried 3 or 4 rights that Myers has blocked already.
If you wanted UFC with like another sport thrown in, like not even so much, like if you wanted like almost Olympic level boxing, these guys basically threw it down for sport. It was well known for it.
In between those two to try to keep them apart. Eric Kimball, one of the premier fighters, goes Lyndon Myers. They both knew what they were doing.
St. Louis.
Kimball with an overhand right.
Myers got 3 or 4 in. Now he switched hands.
It almost looks like they're play fighting half the time, but then like you actually see somebody lay one out.
The best fight of the season.
You think like hockey players actually lost their teeth because of you think to the fact that like hockey players lost their teeth because of pucks? No. Some of them actually lost their teeth because of fights. And there was a point Lyndon Byers, I think he had like a gap like right in the center. it's the premise of it is like it's never easy when you lose somebody. Um, and of course, with everything, trying to find some of the other stuff. Um, videos probably. I can't probably do one of those. I I also apologize to the fact like I'm not more prepared. My preparedness was like, hey, lay all this out, find like some good stuff. However, the new camera I got has basically been a turd. Doesn't want to switch, doesn't want to do a lot of things. It's great. You can't say anything about it because it's gorgeous. But then it doesn't want to behave itself, and you're sitting there like, oh, I hate you. But for moments and everything, there were a lot of people that they put out a lot of oh, here's one. This is a 2-minute thing. This is Coach's Corner with Don Cherry. And with Coach's Corner, one of the things it was like it was Lyndon Byers and Cam Neely. You'll see how young both of them look. But phenomenal little thing. And of course, to anybody who's also listening on YouTube, on Spotify, iHeartRadio, anything like that. The audio should be able to play, but if you want to see the full video, pop on over, and really check it out. You can check it on YouTube. Replay will always be on there, so feel free. But here's Coach's Corner with Don Cherry, and Don is actually talking to Lyndon Byers and Cam Neely in the corner. Check it out.
Hi, this is Cam Neely. It's my buddy Lyndon Byers. Thinks he's Don Cherry.
Oh, thanks. I know. All right, Cam, I know. Grapes.
All right, so there you go. He's grapes. Well, listen, grapes. I just want to compare you with Mike Bilberry. Now, we understand he went to Colgate.
Hey, I'll tell you right now, the only thing Mike and I got in common, he went to Colgate, I used Colgate. All right, that's it. No further, no better. I'll tell you, he's a good coach. He yells, he spits gum. I like that. Throws the gum, gets on the refs. Doesn't dress well. Number 1 point, we got to keep that. Does not dress well. Mike, get a wardrobe.
Now, we're speaking of dress well. We notice here you're looking really sharp in that shirt.
Well, I hope you notice. I don't mean to butt in, Cam. I don't mean to butt in. I know it's your show, but I went with the smaller collar. Not the usual collar. I went with the smaller collar. I toned it down a bit. It's the playoffs. You got to get serious.
All right. Okay, I understand. What do you think about that Moog? The Bruins having that?
Great goaltender. Great guy. That's the kind of guy I tell you. I won a couple of those guys playing for me. Andy Moog, great goaltender. Giving the pucks away to the kids. I don't know, Andy. Too nice. It's the playoffs. Let's just quit giving the pucks away. Play the game. You're a great goaltender. Have you on my team anytime as long as you don't give the pucks away.
All right, okay. Now, Grapes, if you were to go to war, who would you like on your team?
Well, I'll tell you, Cam, going to war, you got to look good. You got to have some good lookers. Got to have some good lookers on the team. I tell you, the Ray Bork guy, he's older, good-looking guy. The girls like him. They follow you, get good fan support. You got to have the Al Peterson type, tall. He's on the D, can see over everything. You get the scrambles in front, he can see all the way down the ice. Craig Janney, there you go, right there. You got to have somebody. You got to have some brains in the operation.
What about this Neely kid? What do you think about him?
Neely?
Yeah, number 8, the Bruins.
Oh, my buddy, I'll tell you right now. I love the guy. He's a great player. 20 Neelys, and we're going to win it all.
All right. Well, there you have it, folks.
Big game.
Well, there goes your job. Listen, that was all right. He did a nice shirt. I wonder where that shirt went. Listen, Lyndon says if we could say to his lovely little daughter in Regina, Kia Caitlin, I got to say hello, and his 76-year-old grandpa. Now listen to this name, Crackerjack. Only Lyndon Byers would have a grandpa named Crackerjack.
Oh, it's moments, man. It's moments. But like you have people like that that leave a loving, lasting impression, and to me that's gold. Um, it is still sad to the fact that because like I said, like Lyndon Byers was class act. Um, one of the better class acts, especially if you were watching the Bruins in the 80s and 90s. Um, he was drafted by us. He stayed with us for like multiple years. I want to say it was like, yeah, he was drafted in '83. So he was actually here before Neely. I think Neely came in '84, '85. He was traded for. But to anybody touched by Lyndon Byers, LB, and everything, from me and the guys who help, like anybody who helps out here with Boston Concessions, my heart is with you. Nothing nicer could ever be said about LB. And to me, a man like that is pure grace. And for me, I would thank him immensely for just multiple years of not only wearing a Bruins uniform, but for like a lot of everything that he's done for the city of Boston, for being behind the scenes with everything. And, being a co-host of the Hillman Morning Show for 23 years, there were times you wanted to turn it on just for him. I'm not a fan of Greg Hill. Was never a Hillman guy, but Lyndon Byers made it worth it to if you had to listen to it, it was all the while. So we send our thoughts and, like I said, our deepest sympathies to the families. All right. So, talking things like that, get you like a little bit worked up. It gets you, oh man, like what the heck? And then you look at the state of the Bruins now, and it's still not good. I let a couple days go. I let a couple things, marinate within the section. And one of the things that I kept on getting was things that people are just like, okay, well, yeah, we can do this, we can do this. But if you look at if you look at trade rumors right now, they're looking at the hockey news is talking about Pavel Zacha going to two teams. Sporting News is joking around with Connor McDavid going to Boston. Are you really kidding me? Just looking at what the team is doing and what they're giving up, do you think the Bruins are ever going to have a moment where they're going to get back something of what happened with sending off Brad Marchand? No. Is it more within development that a lot of people are starting to talk that, hey, is Neely some of the blame? Is it also something along the lines of, well, Sweeney? Because right now Sweeney's been a lot of the hot seat for everything basically been pitching around, a lot of things that like people are talking, a lot of ways and things. We here don't like Sweeney. Okay, he was a good player. Um, I don't even think the draft was him. You know, can you really say that? Like, hey, the draft was Sweeney's? No, it wasn't. Because Sweeney would have never made half of those drafts. And a lot of people want to sit there. Oh, was it Marco Sturm? No, it wasn't Marco Sturm. Marco Sturm was there to basically be a wallflower, to put on a Red Sox jersey, throw out the ceremonial first pitch, basically be a media darling right now because he's the new coach. I still say Marco Sturm is going to be Marco Worm by the time anything happens here in Boston. Are they getting the idea with the players that they have? Well, first off, you're not hearing anything about what the game plan is with Sturm coming in. You're not understanding, hey, here's how we're going to progress with our defense. Here's how we're going to make lines immaculate for the forwards we have. And if anybody comes in, we'll get them on board. We'll start doing things. We'll start opening up. Hey, our goaltenders, we're going to have to work with Swayman. We're going to have to work with, if we whoever we have behind them. Because I'm pretty sure Carpasalo wants to start and he wants to get more minutes and he wants to be that number one guy. To me, Corpusalo is not that guy. Okay. He had a decent year in Boston. It wasn't decent enough to actually give him more playing time, especially with Swayman being. But can you at least mention? Hey, can you start? No. Do you want to? Yes. Great. What can you do for starting? Well, nope. Already not interested. It's taking away from a lot of things that you're looking at. It's taking away from a lot of pieces that you're basically putting your best foot forward in order to do and create. And one of the things is when you have a kid like Swayman and you're getting him up to par, and then you have another goalie that could be, someone big in the water, Corpusalo just isn't going to fit. I mean, if he wants to play for another team, sign up for the trade, the trade block. Go talk to Sweeney, go talk to Neely, and get traded. That's the easiest way I can say it. I'm just not. I'm not a big fan of somebody sitting there and demanding that. Hi, I want to play. I want to, be the starter. You know who the starter is, and you did similar to what he did. So if you're looking to start over him when he's already proven himself over the past 3 years while having a bad year that you're better than him, dude, you're not. I can't even fathom to the fact how you can even state to the fact you're right now better than Jeremy Swayman. Okay, you are the number 2 goalie compared to Swayman, which is the number 1 goalie on the team. There's going to be no upswing. There's going to be no change. There's going to be nothing that makes it any different than what it already has been. And as much as you try, as much as you do, as much as you say, it's not going to be there. So I really hate to say it, but, if you want to save some money, because I know Corpusalo is a little bit, Bruins goalies. Yeah, Jonas Corpusalo is. Yeah, he's $4 million. You want to pay Corpusalo $4 million, and you're wondering why you can't go out and sign other guys. Well, there's one. You want to blame Swayman? No, Swayman earned his money. Okay, he's making $8 million. That's what the top goalies make. So if anybody says, "Oh, why are we paying Jeremy Swayman $8 million?" Well, there's a reason. You don't pay a backup $4 million. Okay, it's not half of what your current goalie is. No, you get him for like 2.5. He's a backup. That's basically his job. He's to back up the goaltender. You need a rest? Submit. That's it. Go in. Looking at the notes, he was 19-12-5 with a 2.6 goal against average in the 19-20 season. He hasn't done anything since. I mean, his career is a 305 goal against average. Okay, he's played 303 games played. He's 31 years of age. He's 126 with wins. He's had 7 shutouts. 3 came in the 2024-2025 season. I mean, his better years was the 15-16 season. He started 30 games. He had a 2.6 average. That was goal against. And then he had it in the 2019-2020. And then he played 11 games for the LA Kings where he started. He had a 2.13. You're not going to count that. But he had 17 games started for the Blue Jackets in 21-22. He had a 4.15 goal against average. He was 7-11 out of 22 games played. That's not something you hold down. Looking at the remainder of his stats, it's just, you were traded to Los Angeles for Jonathan Quick, okay, and a conditional pick in 2023 and a third-round pick in 24. Okay, you were signed as a free agent by Ottawa. And in June of 24, which is almost a year later, you were traded to Boston with Mark Kostelic and a first-round pick in the 24 draft for Linus Ullmark. Do you think to the fact that, like, you were the mover or the needle pusher on that trade? No, Linus Ullmark was the needle pusher because Ottawa wanted him, and then you had to match what you were giving the Bruins. There's a lot to say right there, and that's a lot to basically kick in, go into, and do I have a lot of anything for Korpisalo? No. But if I go to Jeremy Swayman, I will tell you his career. (24-25) was his worst. Okay? His goal against average? Yeah. That was the first time in his career it was in the threes. It's actually the first time in his career since it went over 2.75. 2020, 2021, he played 10 games. He started 10. He was 7-3. He had a 1.5 goal against average. 2 shutouts still. 21-22. He had a 2.41 goal against average. He played 41 games. He started 39. He was 23-14. Mind you, he had a .914 save percentage. 22-23. He played in 37 games. He was 33-24. I mean, sorry, he started 33 games. He played in 37. He's 24-6. He had a 2.27 goal against average with a .920 save percentage. And then, like the year prior, 44 games played, 43 games started. He was 25-10 with 8 overtime losses, 2.53 goal against average with a 9.16 save percentage. So his goal against average for his career out of 5 seasons is 2.58 with a 9.1 save percentage. So if you're looking at everything compared to Corpusalo, no. Okay, he's also got the Williams Jennings Trophy. So he's got the way to play. He was an all rookie, NCAA East first All American team, NHL All Star game in 24, Hockey East Player of the Year in 2020, Hockey East first All Star team in 2020, Hockey East All Rookie team in 2018. There's a reason why they went and got him. If anybody has doubts of Jeremy Swayman's playing methods, look at all his stats going from where he is up. And if you want to look at that 8-year, $66 million contract that the Bruins had him sign, you know, the one thing I never understand about Bruins fans, you want to sign guys to hold them, and you know to the fact it's going to take money. But the minute you pop the money, you kind of don't want to deal with it after that. Why? That's the part I really need to understand, because to me, if I'm looking at a goalie that shows promise, he shows praise, he shows everything, and then has one bad year, everybody's out to get him. It's like Tuukka Rask again, and I know it's going to be one of those real kick in the knockers that everybody's got to like look at. But you know something, I'll beat a dead horse in the mouth. Fans sat there, and the only thing they would ever say is, "Oh, well, you know, Tuukka Rask was blah blah blah, never won a championship, blah 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 blah. Look, he got this, and like he got $7 million a year, blah 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 blah." Yeah, look at Tuukka Rask's stats. Look at Jeremy Swayman's stats. Do you think any other team does not want to sign these guys? If these two were free agents and you had all 32 teams vying for position to get either one or the other, and your pick is fifth, you're not getting them. They're going to go for a goalie. Okay? You may have one chance to where somebody is looking for a center or a defenseman. But to have two star-studded stud goalies like that on a free pick, no, they're not going to be there. Think. No. Bad. I'm just hoping the Bruins can make something happen with what they're supposed to do. I want them to like lighten the mood for everything happening, because right now I can't tell you how many times something is going on, and to be in the position that they're at right now, you really have to warm up and you really have to change emotion in some way, shape, or form between what you're kicking, what you're doing, and what you're letting out. Because right now, the Bruins don't have anything that's going to basically pump them up. I mean, what? You got Sean Corrali? Ooh. If I look at Sean Corrali's stats, they're nothing impressive. Okay? He's a fourth liner. He grinds. He does his job. He checks. Okay? Sometimes he gets the proverbial assist. Sometimes he gets a goal. But is he an all-star caliber or is he a shining star center that you need? No. Is he someone that is needed to carry the team on a wing at all? No. If you're looking for moral support, it's either to basically juice up the beef that Marco Sturm is going to have, or it's going to submit to the fact that, like, somewhere in Denmark, Neely is not doing something right. Or maybe it's Sweeney not doing something right. I've already said, like, the one thing that's basically disappointed me is I can honestly say I'm disappointed in Cam Neely because I'm seeing this team not have anything positive within the method or even the background that they are kicking in right now. If I'm a kid, to what started me, like, like watching Bruins games and listening to Bruins games, and my mom didn't tell me like all the stuff and everything like that that was going on, I wouldn't care. I wouldn't watch this team. Probably wouldn't even watch the Red Sox for crying out loud. Like, hey, things like that happen. Speaking of the Red Sox, they did something magical. They had 3 games against the Nationals, and they beat the ever-loving bag out of them. And it's not hard. The Nationals are not a wonderful team. They're 37-53. They're dead last. I mean, the Rockies are piss poor. That's a whole nother story. But the Nationals are basically like way down in the cellar bend. Not only after the fact of playing the Red Sox and losing all 3 games, but the general manager and the manager were dismissed. So you play a pretty good game, and then your manager and everything like that are gone. Well, then. So Garrett Crochet, though, went out, threw some good innings. He did 5. He had 9 hits against them, 2 earned runs, 2 walks, 7 Ks. Whitlock came out, looked good. Justin Wilson came out, let up a run. Jordan Hicks came out, let up a run after Aroldis Chapman basically closed the door on it. It was a damn good game. And to hint at everything, besides Cedane Rafaela coming back like with a really good game, 3 for 4, 2 runs, a home run, an RBI. Glorious day for Cedane Rafaela. But who's this Trevor Story guy? 1 for 4. What is it? Yeah, 1 for 4. He had a run. He had 2 RBIs. But he had a home run. But it's funny. He's got an 8-game hitting streak. I think someone on Small State Big Takes said it perfectly. Where are all the Trevor Story haters right now? That Trevor Story is looking like an old-time Trevor Story. He's got 85 hits this year, 14 home runs, 53 RBIs, a 252 average. That's his stats going into today's game. Where's the lockup on this for a 32-year-old kid from Irving, Texas? Is he close to $20 million that you're paying him? Well, you weren't going to get better. He's certainly better than Walker Buehler, for crying out loud, and he's getting paid $20 million. We all know the walk down that Walker Buehler's getting. But everybody called for Trevor's head. And now Trevor's healthy. He's playing. He's looking good. He's feeling good, Lewis. He's doing everything in the fact of like what his expectation is. And the only thing people can still sit there and do is, oh yeah, we gotta trade Trevor Story. He sucks. Where has he been sucking? Here's a little hint on the red light of everything that you can look at. You know, Boston sits there, and the one thing they've been saying like crazy is that they traded Rafael Devers and they got no hitter to replace him. Well, Trevor Story with his 14 home runs, 53 RBIs, he's looking good. When Alex Bregman comes back, he could again take over the fact of like what everybody's hitting. Trying to also think of somebody else. I mean, get the stats out for like who's home runs right now is Weiler Abreu. The batting average right now is still Devers from when he was here at 272, but Zidane Raphael is at 264. Bregman is halted at 299 because he hasn't had at bats. Abraham Toro, for like him being here and just being inserted in the lineup, is a 294. Romy Gonzalez, who's been hitting, is a 323. Okay, David Hamilton, I still want to know why he's on the team at a 176. Rob Refsnyder's at a 270. Jaron Duran's at a 255. Trevor Story's batting the 252. Carlos Navarez, who's been catching, is a 272. Campbell, probably when he comes back up, he's got to deal with a 223 average. Marcelo Myers got a 219. He's got to work on it. Roman Anthony's got a 229. But I'll give it for a 219 and a 229 to like look at a rookie. That's not bad. RBIs, it's still staying Rafael Devers at 58. Well, yeah, because Trevor Story has 53. Weiler Abreu has 49. Zidane Rafaela has 38. Bregman's got 35, but again, he's been halted. You know, if you want to look at somebody, I'm looking at Trevor Story to Rafael Devers and what they're at right now, and especially looking at Trevor Story right now with what he's done over the past 8 games to what Rafael Devers is doing over in the Giants. Let me see. He's got no home runs. Over the past 5 games. Okay, they're given the last 7 days. 7 games played, 25 at bats, 3 runs, 5 hits. Three runs, 5 hits. 5 hits and that's in 7 games. 3 doubles. 4 RBIs, 5 walks, 12 Ks. So half of your at bats have been you've been striking out. I mean, he played the A's today. He's not really anything like Mark. 667 average for them. 2 walks, a double. Yeah, I mean, that's and if anybody really wants to like sit there and compare Rafael Devers and like who's replacing him, Trevor Story is making that step up for like how many games he's played. He's played 87. Jaron Duran's played 90. Okay, when you look at Alex Bregman, he's played 51 because he's been injured. When you look at the team has done things to make themselves better. They've made themselves as a team. I've also noticed with some of the clips when they hit, they're getting that eat in. A lot of things have changed since Devers left. I have to give it to the Red Sox because a lot of things are starting to look a little bit better with Devers gone. There's certain things. I think right now, like the trade deadline is looming for what they're going to do, and it's been sitting as a turning point pause for what you can and can't do. Is there things that are going to make this team a little bit more in depth? Yes. Is there something that's going to interact and be what it needs to be? And I don't think they need to be buyers. I mean, maybe get yourself a bat, trade like a small guy. But do I see them getting rid of Jaron Duran? No. I know everybody that I talk to, everybody who like talks to this team, oh, we could trade Duran. Duran will sit here and take a hometown huge discount and play for peanuts, okay, in left field. If you want him to when he has to resign. Do you get rid of guys like that? No. You show the faith, you show the loyalty, you keep them where they are. It means the fact that, like, if you gave Duran a 10-year, $200 million contract, it's $20 million a year. Okay. Could he also do for 15? Yeah, maybe. That's the point of what I'm making. You can make a case for Jaron Duran when he becomes a free agent. You can re-sign him for, I don't want to say you're going to re-sign him for pennies on the dollar, but you'll get a better signing off of him as a 28-year-old right now that it's not so much as his play. Okay, I'll make this very, very clear. You need a player like Jaron Duran right now. If anybody wants to think to the fact I'm not thinking about what I'm talking about in the game, I'll state it very, very clearly and very, very respectively because I also didn't clear the thing. And for Jaron Duran to come out and say, I want to be here, I want to be a Boston Red Sox, that changes the dynamic of everything that you were getting away with at Rafael Devers. Rafael Devers wanted to be here, but then he didn't. You knew it. His attitude said it. His demeanor said it. Jaron Duran, however, is wanting to be the Red Sox that he motivates teammates. He motivates things around him. He gets people to where they need to be. That's a pure and proper teammate. That's what you need going forward. There's no ways around that. To me, that needs to be done. Don't trade him because you know to the fact you're going to lose like a little bit for what you get out of a trade. You're not going to get a full mountain for Jaron Duran. Can you re-sign him, hold him in the outfield, and make something good out of it? Yes. Is it also going to help with Yoshida coming back? Well, I think they're rumored saying Tuesday when they play Colorado. Is that a benefit? Yeah. Is there going to be a strong aspect to it? Yes. Can he submit time in the outfield? But he's also been taking grounders at first base, something Devers didn't want to do. That's Yoshida, a guy who's not played because he's been on the DL. That people were worried about where they were going to play him, and he's willing to play first base. Does anybody not see an issue here? I can see something pure as day of an issue. And I don't care what Devers fan doesn't want to hear it. Your boy didn't want to play first. He didn't want to play ball. He wanted to boast. He wanted to get paid. And he wanted to be about him and be a bitch. I haven't swore all damn day. And like it has to come to Rafael Devers and I call him what he is. Look, I'm not going to like sugarcoat it. He's a good hitter. But he sucks in the field. You know, just to the fact of somebody looking at you saying, dude, can you play first base? You should bow to that. Own it. Make it yours. Make it great. Who knows? Like I said, if Devers shut up and played first and he excelled at it and all of a sudden he went to the All-Star team, would anybody be having this conversation? No. Because if he didn't make as many errors and his WAR went up, if he proved to the fact that he's actually worth $300 million, would you complain? No. Would Devers? No. That's the part that nobody understands. And everybody wants to say, oh, Rafael Devers wasn't the problem. Really? Tell me who the problem was then. Because the only other person I could sit there and point to for not doing his job is Alex Cora. And I still think at certain points, Cora is not doing his job. He is not fulfilling emotions. He's not fulfilling a lot of the things he's doing. He's not fulfilling a lot of methods that he should be stepping in and being the controlling substance of the Boston Red Sox. I think he has a problem with the general manager. I think he has a small issue with management for what they're doing. And instead of voicing the opinion that carries over for Alex Cora, he's I would like Yoshida to come back, play first, play in a strong environment, and hit the ball like he can, and probably pop like maybe like a 270 average, a couple homers. I mean, have him do what he was meant to like and signed to do, hit the ball. If he's gonna do that, he'll be fine. But this is also what Rafael Devers should have been doing with no issue. See, why is it? And please, leave a comment on SpeakPipe. Leave a comment somewhere for me to hear it. Okay? Because to me, if you drop your methods in a SpeakPipe, one of the things that'll probably come up out of me, I want to hear you guys for what you have on this. If Yoshida comes back and basically does exactly what Rafael Devers would have been doing in a bat, do you complain about it? But the other question I want to know, which is a very serious question, is why Rafael Devers didn't want to play first for Boston until he went to San Francisco. And mind you, I told you, watch him come out and say, oh, I would have played first. Next year. Oh, I would have played first if they asked me. But why is it the fact that you ask Rafael Devers to play first? Says no. 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 But yet, so many other players are willing to play first base and play the position that they have no business playing. Why do these people want to play first? But Devers can instantly say the no word. But I'm a great, great teammate. A great teammate shuts up, fields the ball, and shows who you are. That to me is a great teammate. They don't whine, they don't moan. No, no, I'm not doing that. No, no, no. Oh, I would have did it if they asked me. I would have done it next year. Tristan Casas isn't injured next year. Tristan Casas is injured right now. What does next year have to do with now? That's my point. Now, in little ways, I want to see how the Red Sox do over the next week. Where are they? 7th. July 7th. 3 games at Colorado, 4 games at Tampa. So it's Fitz, Bello, and Giolito. Giolito, who's been fucking fire. Holy shit. And then Tampa Bay, you've got Bueller, Crochet, Fitz, and Bello again. Now, is the Colorado series probably going to be like Washington? Yes. Can you make it something that'll be good? Well, let's hope. Because you basically have the Tampa Bay series that's the end of the first half. Then with the second half, you've got Chicago, Philly, LA, and it's Mookie Betts coming back to Boston 25th, 26th, 27th. Ooh. Then you got Monday, Minnesota, Houston, Kansas City. You've got some depth to it. So, looking at the standings, though, Tampa Bay, if they can take 3 out of those 4 games, they're probably going to catch up. But right now, the New York Yankees and Tampa Bay Rays are basically tied, with Toronto being in front, because New York is now 3 games back. The Red Sox are now 6.5 games back from first, but they're 3.5 from second. And then Baltimore is not even as bad, considering they're 11.5 games from first, which makes them 5.5 away from Boston, and then 8.5 from second place. If I'm even looking at the wild card, the Yankees and the Rays would be the top 2 teams for the American League wild card. Seattle would be 3rd. The Red Sox would be 4th. The Rangers would be 5th. with the Angels being fifth. So looking at that, you basically got almost the American League East saying to the fact that like we want the wild card. So I mean, the Red Sox are 16-13, like Toronto, when they play people in the East. It's when they play someone in the West is when they lose. Well, the Central also 9-10. But for what, like the East teams, yeah, they're 16-13. So they're above where they need to be. They just need to be better. They're above 500, and not a lot of teams are. Seattle's way above 533. Philadelphia Phillies are a team. They're 589. The Mets are 571. Chicago's a 600 team. That's like disgusting. The Dodgers are a 600 team. They're 615. But the Tigers are 626. Remember the Tigers sucked? Like 2 years ago. Sometimes it's just little things that come around. But yeah, think about that. Drop some love to me on the SpeakPipe, speakpipe.com/Boston Concessions. See if I can actually get it here. Yep, it is speakpipe.com/Boston_concessions. You can leave a SpeakPipe recording. You can ask questions. You can tell me how much I suck. You can go through everything. If it is stream appropriate, I will put it up. I will play it without any issue. However, if it's something completely unethical, I'm going to keep it in my own personal bank because I want to laugh at it. But with that, we're out. Again, we send our love and condolences to Lyndon Byers and his family. It is not just a Bruins loss; it's a loss to the community. Talked Bruins for like a little bit. Basically, went over like what we're thinking, and then of course the Red Sox. Well, let's go. It's back to Rafael Devers until I see otherwise, because man, there's a lot of things I'm thinking right now. You'll have to wait till next week. No, wait, Thursday. We'll be back Thursday. But till then, have a good day, guys. Have a good morning, afternoon, whatever you be. Leave some love, because I love the love. And hopefully we will talk to you guys soon. Bye, everybody.